Hello, my name is Amy Walsh, and I am the founder of a tiny but mighty company called the Bureau of Tactical Imagination. At the Bureau, I help other small businesses and small business founders to embrace their creative directorship skills and build visionary brands. So I first came to Michelle about a year ago because I'd built this business that I loved. I had students and collaborators and clients that I adored. And my business had become complex enough that I was feeling drained all the time. I was working much harder than I was being paid for. And I was having trouble getting off the plateau that I had created, that I was so proud to have achieved in my business, but couldn't seem to move off of. And I was hesitant to hire a business coach because I'd hired business coaches in the past. I'd taken all the courses, all the things, and I'd managed to use those resources to kind of pull a business together in a piecemeal way, right? And I knew what was working, but I couldn't quite figure out what wasn't working. And I knew that I didn't want to just put patches over the holes. I knew that I wanted a more comprehensive evolution of my business. And I'm so glad that I hired Michelle because she brings that approach to working with people. So I was amazed at the rigor with which she, kind of attacked the project of understanding my business. She asked me so many good questions. We left no stone unturned. And it was only after she did all of that really deep listening and asked all of those really smart questions that she went and formulated a proposed plan for me, which we would then collaborate together and perfect together. And the plan looked at every element of my business, and it used math, which is not my strong suit in any creative process. So she brought the real analytical skills as well as the deep listening to kind of who I am and what I need to be happy in the business. She brought those two things together so that we could make a plan that I actually knew that I could pull off and that felt really good to me to pull off. And the places where she suggested changes or, either really big or really small changes were approaches that were kind of sitting right under my nose, but that I just couldn't see were possible for me. And she really helped me just step right into that next phase of evolution. So in this last year, I've begun implementing our plans, and I've begun kind of a monthly cadence of marketing and nurturing my audience and my people so that by the time I get to my launches, which are quarterly, my sales process will flow more easily. I won't be spending tremendous amount of hours on the phone with a ton of people just trying to make a few sales. Like, it was really that marketing into the sales process where there was a lot of waste in my system, I guess, a lot of exhaustion for me in that part. And I wanted to let you know, and I recently just let Michelle know, that I just had my first launch, which really feels like enjoying the fruits of my labor. So typically a launch for me would bring in 6 to 8 people in my somewhat high ticket educational and coaching program. And I would work really hard for those sales. I would be on the phone with people. We'd be going back and forth. There'd be a lot of conversation. I was doing a lot of getting to know people and nurturing those relationships in the sales process, which is a pretty stressful thing and a strange way to try to get to know someone. So at this launch, come launch day, come cart open day, people just started signing up for my program without a conversation with me. And it's because they already knew me. It's because they already knew everything they needed to know they wanted to join this program. And the only calls I had with people, for the most part, I'd say 75 to 80% of the calls I had with people were just people asking a logistical question, like, what day are the classes? What day are the coaching calls? I want to make sure I can make it work. A few details so that then they could go back and make their decision. So it was a fantastically easy sales process, and I doubled the amount of people that signed up for the program. So I went from an average of 8 to an average of 16. My next launch, I fully expect to surpass that because these systems are only growing month after month. My audience is growing slowly, and my prospects within that audience are growing rapidly. So people are coming into my audience at a sustainable pace, but once they're there, they're getting to know me, they're getting to know the work, they're learning from it, they're getting value from it. And then when it's time for the launch to happen, they're ready to buy. So I couldn't be more thrilled. This is really easing up my feelings about my business so much. And it's really changing my picture in terms of revenue. So thank you so much, Michelle. You really changed my life. And if you, the listener, are thinking about working with Michelle, please know she's the real deal. And there will be no formulas, there will be no piecemeal stuff. Like, she's really going to think about your business, and she has a great mind for it. So go for it.